Welcome, football fans. Here we go. I hope you're excited. Primetime face-off number 2 is here. I hope you are ready to rock and roll, much like our two combatants here today. We just finished up with the first primetime face-off. We had, of course, two awesome folks, one from across the pond at approximately 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. GMT time, about an hour ago, and all the way from England, representing his Buccaneers, and of course, oldie but goodie here at IE Sports Radio, Mr. Brian, soon to be Hall of Famer as well. He was also in the vote for that this year. Fortunately, didn't get all the way to the end, but we will see. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But great guy. He'll be nominated again this year. And I've got to tell you, you guys are cold-blooded listeners. 89% for the Packers and on Twitter, and 79% or 78% or whatever it was on Twitter, on Facebook. You know, I'm just saying, don't underestimate those Bucks. I know I picked the Packers too to win that game, but my gosh, y'all are cold-blooded, man. Don't forget about Tom Brady, guys. Don't do it. Don't sleep on Tom. So with that said, ladies, there's somebody here that knows Tom a little well. We'll get to her in a few minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready to rock and roll. Primetime Face-Off number 2 is here as we are all set for the AFC Championship as the Buffalo Bills get set to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen, the rest ready to rock and roll. Let's boogie. Here we go. Representing the representing the away team, of course, all the way from where if her and her awesome husband were to make a trip out to Cali where I live and were to experience our cold, they would say, son, this is summertime. Because truth be told, you don't know what cold is. And you know what? I don't. And you want to know something else? I don't really want to know what that kind of cold is. Ladies and gentlemen, coming from where they make their very own ice cream. They do. I learned that. They make their own ice cream over there from a show we previously had over here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I've got to say it already. We have a Hall of Famer on the show over there. But I'll tell you right now, this woman right here will be one very soon because she is absolutely awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming for her up team time here this season on 3 and Out. Die-hard Bills fan and somebody that I can call an awesome friend. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Bills Mafia. That's right. Welcoming the lovely Miss Patty back. What's going on, Patty? How you doing this evening?
Great, Larry. So wonderful to be here again to rep my team and my Bills Mafia family.
I am excited for this game. That last game is fun. The NFC Championship we had, and then there were 4, as I said in the other one. You have Tampa Buccaneers. The last time that they were at the Super Bowl and they actually won it, they ate my Raiders like a bowl of Cheerios on a Saturday morning. Okay, in front of the TV. Don't even go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and laugh, Jeff. Go ahead, laugh it up. Yeah. We got beat down like we stole something. All right. Thanks, John. He's kidding. We love you, John. But yeah, what a yeah, that sucked. But anyway, it's been quite some time since they've been there. The Packers, 10 years to the day almost that they've actually won a Super Bowl, getting in. They didn't even win the NFC. They didn't even win the NFC North that year, and they got in. They beat the Steelers, and wouldn't you know it, they hosted their first Lombardi in quite some time. Well, at least in over almost a decade. And guess what? They got it done. And well, here we go today with a team who went not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 times in a row to the Super Bowl and lost every single time. What a disheartening feeling for any of those players who are on that team. But my goodness, the fans, if that's not a kick in the place you don't want to be kicked in, then I'll tell you, I don't know what is, because that was so rough. But here they are again, winning their first playoff game in 18 years. My goodness, how? I mean, I'm so excited. I don't know if it was 18. I think it was something like that. I just picked a number, but what an incredible 25 years. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Browns. I'm sorry. The Browns.
That's okay.
But yes, 25 years. That's almost my whole existence. That is insane. But that's almost as long as I've been alive. That's insane. Okay, so anyway, with that said, that's insane. But we have that team, taking on this Chiefs team who Lamar Hunt went home for the first time since 1971 last year. And my goodness, they took a Lombardi with it. And I'll tell you, what an incredible job. Also another resilient team. Andy Reid, I can't say enough good things about him. He cares about his players. That's a man, okay? And I want to play for Andy Reid, guys. I mean, that guy is amazing. He is such a great coach, and I got nothing but the most respect for him. So you know what? An amazing coach with an amazing team, and it's time to bring on, of course, the representative of those Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the heartland of the U.S., diehard Chiefs fan. He's so diehard, it's in his name. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Jeff Christensen, a.k.a. Incredible Chief. How's it going, man?
How's it going, everybody? Good to be back. Appreciate you having me back, Larry.
Hey, glad to have you back. And, of course, we got to say one little bitty thing. It's a little bite-sized thing here, Jeff. May I give you one more introduction? Ladies and gentlemen, of course, he is, and I'm so excited for this, inductee of the 2020 IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame class. Welcome, brother. Congratulations, man.
I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the votes to help get past that point. I've been through it before, didn't quite make it over the hurdle, and this year finally made it all the way through. So appreciate all the support, guys.
Hey, I'm glad you made it, brother. It's been 2 years. You've been nominated in the first two. You could have been a part of the first one. You could have been part of the second one. But, hey, you made it to the third one. And when you should know, man, you made it to the third one. Your Chiefs just won a Super Bowl that year. And now you guys are right back in it in the Final Four of the NFL, if you will, in the playoffs, championship weekend. I mean, it all came together, I guess, at the right time, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, with that said, y'all, let's have some fun here. Let's boogie and have some fun doing the dang thing. All right. So, first and foremost, X Factors. I love them. You love them. We all love them. Daddy, tell us, who are your X Factors for your Bills tomorrow?
All right. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Andy Reid is a great coach. I liked him when he would coach for the Eagles. I have respect for him. Somebody else is a great coach and should be coach of the year, and that's Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott coached under Andy Reid, and Andy Reid did something that has fired up Sean McDermott, even though he won't say it. He's too humble and hungry. Andy Reid fired Sean McDermott, and when that happened, it lit the fire under Sean McDermott, and that's the X factor. I think that's going to be something tomorrow we need to really look at. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher, and I've always wanted my students to end up where they teach me. And you know what? That's going to happen tomorrow. I think that's a huge X factor for tomorrow. And we also have kind of a secret weapon that goes under the radar a little bit, and that's Isaiah McKenzie. We call him the Little Smurf. Just watch out for him, and remember the words Isaiah McKenzie. You heard it here first, folks.
You know what? Isaiah McKenzie's a bad man. He can play football, and he plays it very well. He's literally one of the most underrated players in the NFL.
Yes, he is. He is. And he's going to show up tomorrow because that's what he does. He shows up.
He does, and he plays the game well, and I love it because he's the most humble guy too. I love it. He doesn't even it doesn't matter what he did the last play. He's all for the next play. So I really like his attitude. He's a great player. So I love that you brought him up, Patty. So good stuff there. All right, Jeff. I know you got a whole bunch of them. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure you got all kinds of X Factors. Who are your X Factors for tomorrow's game?
Well, this is so tough. It's such a great matchup, but truth be told, the biggest thing for us is he was cleared yesterday, so Pat will be in the game. I know that was one of the things that a lot of people were thinking, he's going to play. He'll be in there. You just don't know. Sometimes you just don't know. You got to think of the player, not what the end goal is, because this is a 10-year investment. You don't want to just throw him out to the wolves. So he was cleared. He will be playing. So, the whole team's going to be rallying around Pat's comeback, making sure he's healthy, making sure everything goes good. So that, I think, is going to be our number one. I usually love to say the home field advantage. I usually go on that, but this time I can't do that. Yeah, it's at Arrowhead, but we're only allowing 16,000 fans. But truth be told, Bill Mafia rolls deep, man. Much respect to Bill's Mafia. They will be in Arrowhead. I got some very good friends of mine that are actually going to be there. I wish I am, unfortunately. So that takes away one of the X factors. However, I think the experience is going to help us tremendously. I remember the first time we went back to the AFC Championship, first time in a while, against the Patriots, and we should have had that game won, but we were just that short, just that excited. We got the experience a little bit. I'm hoping the Bills will be that so excited. They're on the right track. They're going, but they might just be that little bit short minus the experience. But that just means next year they're going to be right back in it.
I love it, Jeff. You know, man, your team is ridiculous. I mean, that defense is like a roller coaster, man. They're up and they're down and they're all over the place. But my goodness, they always seem to get it done. So I'm excited for what you guys got. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, man, last week. Oh my gosh. I know you guys know a thing or two about tornadoes in the Midwest. Just saying. And my goodness, with the amount of air that was sucked out of Kansas City last week, if a tornado was going, the amount of air sucked in from everybody at one time would have killed the tornado dead in his tracks. I'll tell you that right now, because seeing him go down, I was even like, no, like this is going to ruin the playoffs. Like, no, like I want to see a fight, like, and that's back to the backups. Okay. Let's just be real. Old man did a little bit, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Come on, Jeff. Who's that backup? From Kansas City?
Man, I was worried. If we were going to have to go in with Chad Henne, I was going to be really worried. But, I mean, he put in his heart in that game. I mean, when he did that run to try to get the first down, he was just inches short. But the fact that he threw himself out there to even do that was huge. Yeah, he threw that pick, and I was a little nervous about the interception because we gave the Browns so many opportunity to come back in that game. But I think the team was just rallying around. The defense stepped up. Everybody was not going to let it happen, because if it wasn't for the defense, the Browns would have gotten back in that end zone, and we would have been in some serious trouble. But if we had to rely on Chad Henne this weekend, even I don't know if I have enough hope for Chad Henne to match up with Josh Allen. There's no way.
Sorry, but that was muted. I said, and that's coming from an Incredic Chief. Just saying. So, with that said, y'all, I completely agree. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the comments real fast. Big ups to Taryn, of course, the other iSports Radio Hall of Famer this year. One of your classmates, of course, from the iSports Radio Hall of Fame, Jeff, is in the chat room talking here. So, of course, listeners don't decide it. The players do. So awesome. Absolutely. Thank goodness I don't have to go through the voting process again for the iSports Radio Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yes, Taryn. I know that was pretty crazy, right? And Patty's gonna have to go through that this year. She'll see. But yes, I know, Taryn. I get it. And by the way, Taryn's a Chargers fan. Ew. Just kidding. Anyway, yeah, so while I respect the Chiefs, I found they have become the new Patriots. It's the rise and fall of power. Ooh, that's it. Jeff, you want to comment on that?
I mean, that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like, I would like that just because of the winning factors and the glory, but at the same time, we've already become one of the most hated teams. Apparently, we've only been successful for 1 year, and everybody's already talking down. So I hope not. But I'll tell you what, I've been to Gillette Stadium. I've been to a game there when the Chiefs went there, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. It was.
I agree.
It was crazy. So call us the Patriots, whatever you want, but you'd always be able to come to Arrowhead and not be treated like that. So.
Even a Raider?
Dude, I host so many Raider fans. I'm telling you, man, you got to get on that list. I got a list of friends, man. Hey, big shout out to my homeboy Grim Raider. If you want to know about Kansas City experience, hit up the Grim Raider.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I want to be able to do this. My girl and I, we want to be able to travel and catch these games and go to these places, go hang out with Patty in the freezing cold for one game, because
not always cold, Larry. We went through this last time. It's not always cold.
Okay.
Actually, it's going to be cold tomorrow, from what I'm hearing, and rainy.
Yeah.
It just
Hey, I tell you what though, if you ever go to with the Bills Mafia, you will walk away learning stuff. Like you said earlier in this show, you learned quite a bit already, but I learned a lot from Bills Mafia, especially even on tailgating. When I thought Kansas City knew it all about tailgating, Bills Mafia showed me a bunch of new things, man. I learned how to drink booze out of a bowling ball from my homie Kenny Pinto Ron. I tell you what, man,
Yep, yep,
when he's not covered in ketchup and mustard, he's a great dude.
yep, yep.
oh my gosh.
I'll tell you, anybody who doesn't know, you're on the fence, you're not sure what team to root for, come to a Bills game and you'll be a Bills Mafia for life. I mean, that experience last week, if you're watching it on TV, we only had 6,700 fans in the stands. Unfortunately, I couldn't be at that one because I was at the first one when we beat the Colts, and they wanted to share the wealth, let the next fans come in. But I'll tell you, that 6,700 sounded like 67,000, and you could hear it on TV. It's unbelievable. There are no more loyal fans. I mean, and kudos to fans of all teams. But the fans of the Bills Mafia are second to none. Look what they did when Lamar got injured. You've all heard about it. The Bills fans started donating to his charity for kids, and they've exceeded over $450,000 to another AFC competitors, team. I mean, that's unbelievable. We've donated to Andy Dalton. We have to take care of our own. We've got Josh Norman, who's helping the local businesses. Josh Allen, whose grandmother passed away, and we're helping to support his love for his grandma with the Patricia Allen Foundation at Children's Hospital in Buffalo. It's amazing. Anything that anybody in Bills Mafia ever needs, our family is there, because that's what we are. We're all about family.
I love that. And great stuff. There are two great fan bases here going head to head. I'm excited for just the opportunity for these two fan bases to even go head to head in such a major game. So I love it. And I really do think that both of these experiences are going to be awesome. We're excited to experience them soon. So I gotta read some of these here.
Larry, it's really kind of a nightmare, man. This is really kind of a nightmare because you got two high-powered quarterbacks that are doing phenomenal for these franchises,
Yeah.
two young, phenomenal teams with two great coaches and two phenomenal fan bases. I was hoping that we would not be facing the Bills like this, to be honest with you, because the Bills right now, their story is that story that everybody wants to get behind and support. And I'm like, son of a gun, right now, I can't do that. I really want to do that, but I can't do that. They are that team that we were, that everybody was rallying behind. It's been 50 years. And now, it's their turn. And unfortunately, it's against us. So I don't want that Cinderella story, but at the same time, I do.
No, it's true. It's true, because I seriously feel like it could happen for a third year. Don't get too crazy now. The team I say it about, you might already have an idea, but it's true. Last year, the darlings were definitely the Chiefs. Oh my gosh, let's get behind this team. I mean, even myself, I found them slightly cheering. It wasn't a whole bunch, trust me, Raiders. No, but honestly, I was really hoping that this team would come away with something, at least the gosh dang Lamar Hunt. I mean, you guys deserve it. That Red Sea is unreal, man. Like, you guys deserve this. And last year you did it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I can't stand you guys, but gosh dang it, I'm happy for you, and I'm just so excited and happy you guys got another Lombardi. Now this year,
one more quick little shout out I want to say is my heart is torn on this too, because the thing that sticks in the back of my head is right now, good friend of mine, may he rest in peace, Pancho Villa, would be all over right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm great friends with his brothers, with his family, and they've all pretty much rallied behind Bills Mafia, and we were close all the way up to the end, and it's just that sticks with me even now, to where it's like, is it bad to say that I'm okay either way?
Thanks, Jeff. We really appreciate that, because our love for Pancho is just unbelievable. I had the chance to meet his children when they came to the stadium, and we all honored his family. And Panchito is just the most adorable little boy, and I hear he's going to be there tomorrow.
Yes,
So,
they're all going to be there.
yeah, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Joni's going to be there as well from Buffalo.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That
My mom also was a huge fan. She got me into this football and when I was a little tiny kid. And my mom and I went to 3 of the Super Bowls together that the Bills were in. She couldn't go to the other one because we took a bus, which she wasn't able to do. But my mom had never flown on a plane before. And because the Bills were in the Super Bowl in Tampa, which, by the way, is just kind of a weird irony that 25 years later, here we are. Where's the Super Bowl? In Tampa. Kind of a strange, it's almost like you say, Jeff, a Cinderella story. It's really amazing, but it's my mom, it's Poncho, it's Tim Russert, it's Ralph Wilson. It's all those beloved Bills fans that are looking down from above. When I went to the Indy game, the sun was shining. We hadn't seen the sun in days, and it was like, wow, this is really interesting. And I remember looking up during the game, and the clouds, the picture of the clouds that I took, if you really look closely, it looks like celestial dancers. It looks like the Bills fans were dancing. The clouds were wispy and like they look like dancers. And I go, you know what? When we do win the Super Bowl, we need a movie. This is really a magical season. It really is. It's unbelievable. I'm friends with Lorenzo Alexander, former linebacker for the Bills, and I remember telling him when he left to go to Arizona after he retired, watch the Bills win this Super Bowl because it's the weirdest year. 2020's been bizarre. And it's like, we can never do anything normal in Buffalo. We've got to always have a twist. And this is kind of like the biggest twist you could ever have. That I said to him, watch us have a parade and we can't go because of COVID. And God bless those people that have been affected by COVID. But it's just that kind of a year. And the joy, and I'm sure, Jeff, you're experiencing this too, the joy that football is bringing to all of us fans is just palpable. I mean, it's just unbelievable how much joy the city of Buffalo, everybody's like, go Bills, and red, white, and blue, everything's lit up, and kids are all dressed up. It's Spirit Week. It's you've got that too, Jeff. I'm sure it's so exciting for the city. You just don't want to see it end. It's too magical.
that is
Absolutely.
Awesome. That is awesome, Patty. I mean, both of you guys have beautiful stories. People I never even knew, but I know diehard fans are the real thing. We know a thing or two, like with our diehards. Okay, I mean, got Dr. Death and Violator. I mean, two well-known Raider fans. I mean, when you have those fans that are just so dedicated and that are so well known, it's unfortunate. I mean, we all got to go home, but unfortunately, when it does happen, it's never the easiest. So, rest in peace to Pancho Villa. That is awesome. I never even really knew his legacy over there. But once again, another diehard. I mean, you see so many of them, and it's just awesome. So, I mean, this is another. It's unfortunate that he passed, but it's awesome that his team right now is just doing so well. And I was gonna say too. I'm just saying, last year was the Chiefs, and they did it. If the Bills do it, oh my gosh. But next year, will there be another Sweethearts?
The Bills.
Will the Browns actually get there next year and be in this situation? And now the Bills are going to be where the Chiefs are, and the Browns will be where the Bills are, the Sweetheart?
I think you're getting carried away there, buddy. Let's get past this first.
That was good to me, but I would say the Bills. I mean, we were this close to playing actually in Buffalo against Cleveland, because if Cleveland would have won, they would have came to Buffalo.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's have some fun here, guys. Let's see it. Sean McDermott, I like what he says here. Terrence says Sean McDermott will be the coach of the year. Had the Browns upset the Chiefs last week. It should have been it would have been Kevin Stefanski. I agree. So these two teams will be facing each other next year. They won't. They won their respective divisions this year, which means one thing: first place schedule, all that. Yeah, absolutely. Anything is possible. But Mahomes is where the Chiefs' heart is. Completely agree. My Patriots comment is actually supposed to be a compliment to the Chiefs. So, okay. It's currently raining in California. Yes, because Taryn is literally about maybe 40 miles up the road from me. So maybe 50 miles up the road. So yeah, it's not actually, no, not that far, about 30 some miles. But yeah, it's currently raining in California. It's not always sunny in California. It's not always cold in Buffalo. Yes, Taryn, we get you. So Bills Mafia deserves this moment. Kudos to them. They're awesome. This is probably the most heartwarming and most chill primetime face-off in 3-9 history. Awesome stuff. And I completely agree. I love when we get stuff like this too. We had a lot of fiery ones, but man, this right here, it's all about the fans. And this is what we love. So Marcus, what up, what up, what up? No, appreciate you, brother. Yours will be on the way soon, man. The crispy Esports Radio T, as he always says on his show, gloves off. And of course, can we just cancel NFC and have both these teams Super Bowl in 2 weeks? I completely agree.
I love it.
I mean, seriously, I don't know what our previous fans on the primetime face-off would say about that. He's getting last hour, but no, I completely agree. So with that, I'm excited, guys. So let's go ahead and just jump on in here. We had the weaknesses already, so we'll get off into that. Now we will finish off with the fire round. And actually, wait, weakness. We didn't get to the weaknesses. Sorry. So let's go ahead and get into the lightning round here and have some fun. So, Patty, what you got for us? What you got? Tell us, if you can, find some weaknesses on the Chiefs team and talk about how your Bills can exploit them in this game.
All right. I got one that it's kind of gone under the radar. Now, I know Patrick Mahomes has been in concussion protocol. When I saw that on TV, I'm like, I'm actually a nurse and I'm really concerned. When you get any injury to your neck or your head, which it looked more like a neck injury, psychologically, you're gonna be a little in the back of your mind thinking about what that feeling is going to be like when you get hit next. And I think that's something to really take into consideration. The other thing with Patrick Mahomes is turf toe. Nobody's really talked about that. And if you really noticed, even during practice, what video that I saw, he was still a little kind of hobbling around there a little with his toe. So I don't know. He likes to scramble to his left. And if our defense, which is peaking at the right time, not if, it's when our defense can really keep him in the pocket and really get to him and really fluster him, which is difficult. But if you look at the rise of the two teams the last few weeks, who's peaking at the right time? And that's something to really notice. The Chiefs have been winning, but the margin of how much they've been winning by isn't really that high. And let's talk about the Bills. Actually, when you look at statistics, the Bills actually are pretty close statistically, offensively, to the Chiefs right now. And Josh Allen, when he's on fire, like you say. Some games, like against Miami, he looked like he was a statue. He could have brushed his teeth, taken a shower, done whatever he needed to do. That's how much time our offensive line gave him. So the defense of Kansas City isn't as tough as Baltimore. We played Baltimore, and they had a very tough defense. They didn't blitz as much as I thought they were going to, but I think, what we're going to see from the Chiefs is the waters will be tested for sure with Josh, but I think we'll be okay. I'm really excited to see how Patrick, and he's got the same name as me, Pat, but you know what? I obviously have to go against him this game. So something to keep an eye on, that turf toe. That's what I would say. And also the psychological game, because when he gets hit, if it's his head or neck, or he falls and he happens to hit that area, it's going to be of concern, I think.
Man, wow, great stuff there. Goodness, once again, just in depth. I love it. Great stuff, Patty. Hopefully no injuries occur here, but I completely understand.
No, I don't want any injuries. I really certainly don't.
Don't want no injuries. But with that said, Jeff, go ahead and tell us, man, your thoughts on Patty's remarks first and foremost. And then, of course, give us your weaknesses on the Bills that you feel that your Chiefs can exploit in this game.
Well, she's absolutely right. On that Browns game, Patrick was kind of messing around with his foot a little bit. You could tell he wasn't 100% on that. And I am worried about a little bit of the injury. because the concussion protocol, you're right, it was actually a nerve or in the neck area that was more whiplash than it was a blow to the head. But I can see how the psychology and the psychiatric, you're thinking about it a lot. You're worried about getting hit. But I think with Patrick being so hyped, young and dumb, I was there not too long ago. You're still at that prime of your career to where you go all out no matter what it takes. And that's going to hurt us in the long run if something were to happen. But we can tolerate that kind of thing when we're younger, like he is now. So I don't know if it's going to be too much of an issue. The toe I'm a little worried about because he won't be running and scrambling as much. Well, that's what I thought. But he was running it with against Cleveland with that toe, and it blew us all away. So we'll see. I think he's still got that enthusiasm. He's still got that bravery. He's going to probably maybe not 100%, but he's going to look like he's about 95%. As far as weaknesses go, the Chiefs and the Bills are eye to eye, really, especially on the offense. There's really not much of a difference, minus a couple key players.
Mm-hmm.
They got somewhat of the speed that we do in the receiving core. I rely more on BUFsKC more than their tight end, but we have a couple more of the weapons. But both of us are going to be struggling on the defense part of it. If you remember thinking back to the first time we played, it was a very close game. I think we only beat them by 3 points. And at that time, there was a lot of run game between the two teams.
Yeah.
Josh never really lit it up. Patrick never really lit it up. I think Andy and his undergrad is being conservative, seeing what they can do, playing it out that way. Because I think everybody was expecting the passing, so that we relied a little bit more on the run. I don't think that's going to be the fact this time. I think we're going to be going all out as much as we can, and unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a shootout because the Bills defense can light it up at times, especially in the rush. But when you rush us too much, you're leaving too much open in the secondary, in the backfield, and there's too much speed with Kansas City. But Kansas City secondary and defense isn't all that hot either. So it's going to be a complete battle on the offense, and I just don't see us relying so much on the run like we did last time.
I love it. I do. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, when we played earlier in the year, it was a very bizarre time for our team. It was the only back-to-back losses we had. COVID hit the Tennessee Titans. We didn't even know when we were going to play, if we were going to play Kansas City, if we were going to play the Titans. Everything was just not going the way we had hoped. And when we actually did play, we had about 6 or 8 starters, including Matt Milano, John Feliciano, and some of our best players were missing that day. And I think that that's going to make a big difference. Yeah, Kelsey, let's face it, he is a stud, and he's going to be hard to cover. But Matt Milano was not in that game the first time we played. So I think that's going to be another X factor there to see how he's going to do this to cover him. And our defense, I mean, if you watched last week, our defense is getting confident. They're on fire. That game last week was probably was the best that I've seen them play all year. And that interception for the pick 6 was 101 yards, Taron Johnson. Unbelievable. And he had that birthday boy, Trey White, it was his birthday. He didn't get the interception like we all hoped, but he did the birthday boy block to make sure Taron got to the end zone and outran Lamar Jackson, which was amazing.
That is amazing, guys. And man, see, birthdays. I gotta love it. I can't believe it, guys. Oh my gosh, my birthday's coming up in a couple of days. No.
Happy birthday.
Coming up. I always say every year, okay? And it's funny because I didn't really get diehard into football until I was in middle school, like super diehard with my dad. So I didn't play when I was younger. I actually wanted to be a NASCAR driver when I was a kid because I love NASCAR so much. But football became a thing with me. I loved it. I became a big Raiders fan. And I became a diehard right into the NFL right when it turned into 8 divisions, when the Central went away, when it went to 8 divisions. So it's crazy because since that happened, the schedule got a little, tweaked, and the Super Bowl would usually be at the end of January sometime. Well, I always say the NFL gave me a gift. The NFL gives me a present every year, because when the Super Bowl started getting played into February, the very first game ever played in February, the very first NFL Super Bowl, NFL game, which of course was Super Bowl, ever played was in 2004, and it happened to be on my birthday, February 1st. So I was like, sweet, that was so sweet. Well, it happened again in 2009 when I really wanted freaking Fitzgerald and the gosh dang Cardinals to beat the Steelers, but no. Anyway, iconic catch in the end zone. I'm pretty sure you guys remember that one in 2009, and it happened again in 2015 where was, oh no, it was when I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was when the Seahawks should have ran the ball. Just saying. I think that was also, so I think those were, I'm pretty sure, but I think the Seahawks or the Patriots, one of those years, but yeah, I think that was 15. But those the 3 times it's actually been on my birthday, and the next time it'll be on my birthday, February 1st, will be 2026. So I'll be in my late 30s. This is gonna be, but I just thought that was pretty cool. So this year, on my birthday, I always get a gift from the NFL. Super Bowl's either on or around my birthday, so I love it. So with that said, y'all, let's have some fun. Final round, talk about the fire round here, and do the dang thing. Game plans. I want game plans. Patty, tell us all about your game plan. You're coach right now. What is it you guys have to do to go into Arrowhead tomorrow, a very tough place to play, and win this thing?
I think just like we did against Miami, I think it's got to be a fast start, and we have to score every time. So last week, we didn't run for the first half just about. I don't even remember if we had one running play. It was pass, pass, pass. I think for our team to win, we have to take what they, give us, but then really kind of game plan so that we're always scoring and we're always ahead of the game. We can't settle for punts. We can't, because this is, as Jeff said, going to be a very high scoring game, and we have to score each time we get it. The other thing we need to do is keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Just like many times teams will scheme against us and say we got to keep Josh Allen off the field. Indy did a really good job with that. Our time of possession was really pathetic. But we have to score every time we get it. It sounds a little cliche, but I think that's going to be the secret to the game. And don't let up. Don't take our foot off the pedal. We've got to keep going. If we score 72 points, so be it. That's the way it is,
That's the kind of game this is. So first things first, Jeff, comments on Patty's comments, and then what must your Chiefs do to earn this victory, man?
Yeah, she's got it pretty much right on point. They got nothing to counteract with that. But I think as far as our game plan goes, we need to use every weapon possible. Every down counts. Andy Reid's playbook in his head, every play counts. Whether it be a first down play or a touchdown pass, everything needs to be executed to a top notch. And I feel confident. I'm confident enough to say that we don't usually let off the gas too much until the very end. And I feel that we will do that. The reason why I say that is because apparently we play better from behind for some reason, especially in the postseason. I mean, we gave the Texans a 24-0 lead for the first half and continued on. That was our story last year. But I don't want to start that way. It always makes me nervous. I'm going to have a heart attack by the time I hit next year. I'll be 36, but I'm going to have a heart attack by then if I keep looking at it like that. But we need to make sure to utilize every weapon we have, whether it be Travis Kelce, whether it be Tyreek, whether it be McCall Hardman, who's been hot. But we also cannot forget about our run game. Le'Veon Bell's got to use some of the experience, and hopefully if Claude Hilaire's been cleared or not, I'm still waiting on that. And even Sammy Watkins, that's a name they're familiar with. But if he's been cleared to play, at least that can get that first down that's going to run more time off the clock. Or just like the game ended last week when we snapped the ball on 4th and inches, threw the ball to Tyreek, and he sits down and runs the clock out. That's all it takes is one crazy play, one first down, control that clock, use every weapon you have. None of us can settle for punts. None of us. No. Because we all have that caliper that it'll bite you in the butt for doing it. So you must score. regardless.
Yeah. And I want to add to this, Brian Dable had a chance to be the next coach of the Chargers, and he got passed up. So there's a guy, offensive coordinator, has Super Bowl wins, Super Bowl experience. He should be a head coach right now. We don't want to lose him for sure because he's got this great relationship with Josh. He's going to have a little bit of vendetta on him, I think. I think he's going to come out with some creativity, some kind of like, you know what? I am a good offensive coordinator, and I'm going to show it. And I'm going to show it.
We're going through that same exact thing with Eric Bieniemy being passed up twice now. So
exactly. We got Leslie Frazier too.
Yeah.
So, and now it's looking like Josh McCown might be the coach for Houston, and those two guys will be passed up. It's pathetic.
It really is. But I'm excited, y'all. This has been great. And that's going to do it for the face-off, y'all. So once again, y'all, Miss Patty Bax, Mr. Jeff Christensen, and Credit Chief. That was awesome. But we have a couple more things to get to before we're out here tonight. First and foremost,
Gotta leave with them.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now.
Sorry, Larry. Had to do it.
I love it. Well, thank you very much. We needed some music. I love it. Well, there's just a couple things left to do.
It just isn't stopping, Larry.
So you can't stop the Bills, man. They're coming. So, hey, let's have some fun here and talk about who you, the listeners, picked for this game. Because my goodness, it's gonna be this is interesting. The votes are in, the voting polls are both in for both the Twitter group, Twitter and for the Facebook group. But first, I gotta know something. Final scores. You can decline if you'd like to, but you know I gotta know. Patty, give us the final score for this game.
I'm feeling, even though it's going to be high scoring, I think it's going to be a moderate score of 34 Bills, 28 KC.
Woo! Jeff, what you got?
I was thinking 33 KC, 30 Buffalo.
I'm loving it, guys. Two good scores. I think it's going to be a very close game as well, high scoring. But Terrence says here the defenses are going to be an X factor on both, and both defenses are actually underrated. Absolutely. Let's not forget 20-10 against the 49ers last year. October 20th is now officially a holiday for Kansas City Chiefs fans. Agree, and big ups to Marcus, of course. Great job. And wait up, Taryn. Why throw the shade? Because Marcus is a 49ers fan. But good stuff there. But with that said, and yes, Marcus, you had the game until the final 3 minutes. You definitely did. A football game, though, is not 57 minutes. It's 60. And I think both these teams tomorrow will be playing the full 60 minutes. So we're excited for that one. So without further ado, let's get to you, the listeners' pick to see who will win this thing or to see who you listeners think will win it. So, here we go, y'all. For Twitter, thank you to everybody who voted, by the way, on both of these polls. For Twitter, with 69% of the votes, you, the listeners, are taking the Buffalo Bills to win this thing.
Bills Mafia rules. Woo!
And on Facebook, with 59%, you, the listeners, are taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this thing.
I knew I used Facebook more than Twitter for some reason.
I'll tell you right now, y'all. We're gonna have an Instagram one for Super Bowl, but y'all, this is awesome. Two fan bases, absolutely awesome. This game, I think, is gonna be about that close. I mean, the voting is gonna be close. I completely agree. Terrence, I'm sorry, the voting was close. The game's gonna be closer. Terrence is here, 35-34 Chiefs. You don't get rich by betting against Patrick Mahomes. Oh boy. Well, we have two.
They should have that as a billboard in Vegas for your stadium there, buddy.
Thanks, Jeff. But with that said, I want to hear now. Both of you got a win here. Both of you. The voting poll went both your favors on two different platforms. So, Patty, starting with you, what do you think about these two voting polls?
I love it. We've got a smart educated listener base here. And I'll tell you what, those of you that have been around as long as I have, I'm 62, I've been around the block. And I'll tell you what, I remember 27 years ago today, something happened. Sorry, Jeff, I hate to bring this up, but we beat KC to reach our 4th Super Bowl, and it happened 27 years ago today. Coincidence? I think not. All the stars are aligned for us to go to Tampa and get the revenge, because you know what? We have been, just like, you, Jeff, long-suffering fans. You got your joy last year. Let's share the wealth. Let's get it to be our turn. And then our fan bases can continue to go against the Patriots.
All right, Jeff, you want to poll yourself? Any comments there for Patty, and any thoughts?
You know, as soon as she was going with the whole 27-year thing, I already knew where she was going with that. But it's funny because it happens every 27 years, apparently. I saw a thing on Facebook where the first matchup was in like 1967.
Yeah.
And that championship game. And then the 94. And then here we are again. But Joe Montana still talks about that game in 94. So, he's been there in Kansas City showing a lot of love for KC and pumping everybody up. But, times have changed. Let's hope the times have changed and things are different than, man, I was in the 4th grade when that happened.
Man,
we had more things to worry about during that time. I mean, that was pretty close to the whole O.J. Simpson thing even. Come on.
I was packing my suitcase, getting ready to go to the Super Bowl.
There you go.
I was like 5. You guys, man, look, I loved it. This has been awesome. Thank you very much for both of you, Ms. Patty Bax and Mr. Jeff Christensen. Ms. Patty, where can they find you on Twitter and anywhere else you want the Bills Mafia to find you?
Well, I'm obviously supporting Twitter. I'm at Huddles10251, and that's where you can find me. And all my content is Buffalo Bills. There we go, Buffalo Bills.
I love it. Patty's got she got the songs, she got the jersey, the shirt on the back, she's got
Harry Phillips, our Walter Payton Man of the Year. I'm also friends with his wonderful mom and dad, Tammy Rose and Paul, and they're on their way right now to the game. So let's go, Harry.
That is awesome. I'm loving it. And Jeff, tell us, man, where can all these diehard Chiefs fans find you and your Hall of Fame self, man?
Well, on Twitter, it'll be @IncrediChief18. You're my PFUFA induction. And then Facebook is what I mostly use, but Jeff Christensen or IncrediChief is everything that's there. The Arrow 58 Foundation is the foundation that we started with the team that I have out here. I'd like to show off a bunch of my Chief stuff, but unfortunately, I'm visiting my grandparents out in Minturn, Colorado, so I'm nowhere near all my Chief stuff.
Well, awesome that you're over there visiting your grandparents, man. That is awesome. But yeah, I know you'll be heading back, man. I know. I always seem to talk to you're everywhere, dude. You're like a Visa card, man. You're everywhere you want to be. Every single time I freaking contact you, you're somewhere in the world, like literally. So.
Well, usually when you contact me, I'm on my way to Kansas City because of my season tickets, but that didn't happen this year. So either way, I'm traveling.
That's true, man. So with that said, Patty, Jeff, it has been amazing. You are awesome people, and I'm looking forward to talk to one of you guys in a couple of weeks for that primetime face-off. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have multiple fans for that one. So with that said, Patty, Jeff, take care. Thank you so much. Best luck tomorrow, and God bless both of you and your families. Have a wonderful rest of your evenings. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and, well, let's see who gets it done, y'all. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you so much. Go Bills.
Keep your heels up and down, throw your hands up and down, throw your hands back and down. Come on, Bills are making it happen.
Okay, I'll behave.
Take care, guys. God bless.
Bye-bye. Go Bills.
Take care, y'all. With that said, that was awesome, man. Both Patty and Jeff coming through, man. That was a great, great primetime face-off. There's only one thing left to do. Let's get to my final thoughts. I did tell you guys earlier that the Green Bay Packers would be the team to make it happen against the Buccaneers, because why not? You don't bet against Tom Brady. You really don't. Aaron Rodgers, pretty good. He's a bad man, as Stephen A. Smith would say. And that's why I got those Green Bay Packers heading to the bowl. But in this game, it's a little bit tougher for me. This game has so much, because I can't stand the Chiefs as a Raider fan, but my gosh, do I admire that team for what they've done. I respect Andy Reid and that play and that fan base, and those players, man, are incredible. It would be really hard to pick against the Chiefs in this game. And as for the Bills, my goodness, what a story. I mean, you can't script this stuff. It's cliche as it is to say that you can't script it. And those Bills are relentless. As you said earlier, Patty, sending me some awesome compliments from Bills Mafia. It's true. You got to be relentless, guys. You have to. You got to be relentless, and that's the kind of people we all got to be. We got to strive to be that every year, every day. So I'll tell you, the two tough teams, two tough fan bases, and a very tough decision. But ladies and gentlemen, I can't go any other way right now. And now you can call it a bias. It is what it is. I'm not hating. I'm not hating. But ladies and gentlemen, for my pick in this game, I got to ride the wave with the Bills Mafia. I'm taking the Bills to win this thing. Final score, 38-31. This is going to be a monstrous football game. I am so excited for this Bills organization. If it's even closer than that, it might be. But gosh dang it. We have seen a young man with a wild arm from Wyoming that some people said he might not ever tame the dang thing. I was critical of that wild arm. Patty knows when I first talked to her on here, talking about that wild arm, talking about, he can run, but can he throw? Well, guess what? He proved me wrong and everybody else. He can throw now. I mean, seriously, the quality of the offensive line, they protect him so well. The defense is nasty. There's so much there with this Bills football team that just screams out, we got this. They suffered 4 losses in a row in the early 90s. I was way too young to even know back then, but my goodness, just hearing about it, afterwards now and seeing it, and just, the Bills have absolutely come such a long way. And this year, it was fate. The Patriots fell apart. They didn't need the Patriots to fall apart. I think the Bills actually could have probably beaten the Patriots full powered this year with how strong the Bills were. It's the change of the tides. And personally, it's nothing against Chiefs Kingdom. It's not, because they're a very tough team, and my goodness, they won it all last year, and they deserved it. Do they deserve it again? You bet you do. You bet they do. All 4 of these teams deserve it, but that's just not the way it goes. Only one is going to take it home, and I have the Bills earning their very first Lombardi. I think they can do it. I know they can do it. This team is going to be rough and tough. But when it comes down to the Packers, if it goes that way in 2 weeks, it's going to be hard, because the Packers win this thing, or the Bucks, I mean, whoever it is, it's going to still be a hard decision. I, in my heart, definitely want the Bills to win the bowl this year, and that's all there is to it. But I also got to go with my head too. And in 2 weeks, it might be a little different. I don't know. I don't want to pick away from them, but I do want to make sure I make the best educated pick I can. But other than that, y'all, I do feel the Bills are right now can win this game, and I think that they can go on to the Super Bowl and win that thing too if they keep on riding the momentum. So right now, y'all, I'm riding with Bills Mafia. This team has done so many great things, and I can't say enough great things about them. So with that said, y'all, let's take a quick look here at the chat room and see here what Terrence says. If you're a fan of defense in football, these games are not for you. I'm a defensive guy, so I'm going to be sick to my stomach seeing all these disgusting points getting thrown on the board. I don't like points. Points suck. Unless defense scores them, that's all the points I want. I don't like offense. I always cheer. It's funny. I was confusing Cecilia, my girlfriend, a couple weeks ago on the national championship, because I was cheering for whoever was on defense. She's like, "Who are you cheering for?" I'm like, "Whoever's on defense. Whoever doesn't have the ball." Like, I can't stand offense, guys. I'm a linebacker, defensive end. It's what I do. I can't stand points. But if we score them, that's okay. But of course, if your team you'd be a fan of, offense scores them, cool. But I am so excited, though. We're going to have 2 high-scoring games, and you know what? Screw it. I'm all for it. Let's have some fun. Let's see how it goes. Terrence says here, I want to also see Matt Barkley win a ring. Yes, but Mahomes and Chiefs are going are going in those hopes and dreams? Well, we'll see. I mean, honestly right now want to see these Bills get it done, and that's all there is to it. So you got my final score 38-31, and if it goes the way I said it, it's gonna be Packers and Bills in the Super Bowl, and we shall see. But with that said, y'all, that's gonna do it. I am clocked out for the day. That is it. Make sure to stay tuned. Tomorrow we got lots more coming your way, and that's gonna end our week here at IE Sports Radio. Big ups and thank you to all of our sponsors, by the way. Legacy Financial, got to show them some love, y'all. If you guys want to get back on track with your finances, make sure to hit up Legacy Financial. They're absolutely awesome people, and I got to show AO and Andrew some love. Of course, our sponsor here, and another one of our sponsors, Mom is Always Right Media. I love it. You want some tips on your essays, students out there? Well, and your papers? Yeah, go look no further. Mom is Always Right Media with their shows here. Awesome here. Coffee After Dark, and It Goes Down in the PM. Got to show some love to our sponsors and thank them for showing us love and letting us keep the lights on. And thank you, Mr. Taryn, and thank you all for showing us love and being a part of this every single week. You guys are awesome, even when I can't even make it like last week. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Next year will be a lot better. Trust me. We'll have a show every single week. It'll be so much better than this last past week or this last past year. But let's ride this one out and get on to next year. So with that said, y'all, that is going to do it. Big ups and thank you to all of our guests today on the first show. Of course, Mr. TJ Bloomfield, our Bucks fan from Bucks UK across the pond in the UK. In England, and of course, big ups to Mr. Ryan, Mr. Brian, awesome guy, man, or Packers fan, that was competing today, and of course, big ups and big thank you to Miss Patty Bax and to representing her Bills, and to Incredic Chief, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, representing his Chiefs here, man. So with that said, that's gonna do it for me. I will see y'all next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.